Good morning. My name is Addison Henry, and this year I have the honor of serving as the chair of the Diocesan Youth Commission, the high school team that works with the bishop staff to lead diocesan youth ministries. It's a privilege to speak on behalf of the youth of this diocese to share a reflection on what it means to grow in faith as young people walking alongside one another and with God. This year, our theme is Every Step. Life is a series of steps, some light, full of joy, and others heavy with doubt and grief. Yet in every single step, God is present. He walks with us even when the path is unclear and we can't see how all the pieces will fit together. Youth ministry is where we learn to navigate these steps, not alone, but together, supported by a community that celebrates challenges and lifts one another up. One of the experiences that has shaped me most profoundly has been Happening. Happening is a high school formation retreat that the diocese hosts at Camp Michael twice a year. That weekend invites us to examine our faith, explore our beliefs, and share our authentic selves with others doing the same. In that space, we discover that faith is not simply a concept to study or a set of rules to follow. It's something we live, practice, and nurture together, step by step, with courage, openness, and honesty. Happening gave me the space to reflect on who I am, who I'm becoming, and how God works through our lives in ways we might not immediately recognize. I also think back to my first Diocesan Youth Commission training, where I grew closer to people I now talk to every day and have the joy of leading with, friendships that have become sustaining, challenging, and inspiring. These connections remind me that youth ministry is not only about programs or events, it's about building a community where we are seen, heard, and valued. Walking alongside peers who are exploring their faith, asking questions, and supporting one another has shown me the power of shared experience. Through these relationships, we learn empathy, trust, and love, and discover that each step of our journey matters not only to ourselves, but to those around us. In small moments, a conversation, a shared prayer, a word of encouragement, we witness God working through community in ways that can be transformative. There have been steps in my life that were far heavier than any youth event, moments of loss, grief, and uncertainty where the future felt distant and unclear. But in those moments, my youth group became more than a group. They became a family. Their support brought me closer to God, reminding me that even in the hardest steps, we are never truly alone. Those experiences showed me the strength of a community, how shared vulnerability, compassion, and support can turn a moment of despair into a step toward hope. But not every young person has that same kind of support. There are teens across our diocese who walk through struggles quietly, unsure if anyone sees them or if the church is really a place where they belong. Sometimes youth spaces are underfunded or overlooked, not because people don't care, but because it's easy to assume that the next generation will simply figure it out. The truth is, we can't. None of us grow in faith without each other. We need you. We need mentors who show up. We need people who ask questions and really listen. We need adults who model what it looks like to keep showing up for God and for each other, even when life feels really complicated or hard. When you invest time, energy, and care into us, it doesn't just change our life, it changes the church itself. It creates a living, breathing reminder that the gospel is a relationship and that God's love becomes visible through human connection. Good youth ministry equips young people not simply to survive challenges, but to thrive, to lead, and to reflect God's love in tangible ways. As the bishop has reminded us, the youth are not the future of the church, they are the present. This is a truth we must take seriously. We're not a church in training, we are the body of Christ now, actively serving, leading, and loving. We're acolytes, volunteers, musicians, friends, and leaders. When we are supported and celebrated, the church itself grows stronger, more vibrant, and more capable of walking in faith with all generations. This care is something we need urgently. People ages 14 to 24 are the second highest risk for suicide in the United States, after adults over 65. At first, these two groups may seem very different, one young and still discovering their place in the world, the other older and facing challenges of later life. Yet these statistics reveal a shared truth. We all need connection, care, and support. Relationships are not optional, they're life-saving. And right now, our reflection on every step feels even more personal. This past week, we lost a young member of our community, a senior in high school, to suicide. Today also marks 3 years of the loss of a beloved member of my own church. Both had lives and faith that left a profound impact on everyone around them. These losses have affected so many people, serving as a painful reminder that many young people in our families, schools, and communities have experienced similar heartbreak. Each of those moments shows us that every step matters, that every conversation, every act of care could be something that keeps us alive. We're called to walk closely with one another, to be present in ways that show God's love tangibly, especially when the steps feel dark and heavy. No one should feel unseen or alone, especially in church. Faith grows not only in reflection, but in action. The small ways we support and care for one another are what makes community strong. Each shared prayer, honest conversation, and act of empathy builds a foundation that allows youth and the church to flourish. By walking with young people through every step, you invest in a present church that is vibrant, resilient, and full of life. And every step really does mean everyone. The ones that are joyful, where everything feels right, and the ones where it's hard to believe that God is near. The steps of growing up, of learning, of failing, and forgiving. The steps of watching someone you love walk through pain and realizing that being present is sometimes the holiest thing you can do. Every step counts. Every step brings us closer to understanding what faith looks like when it's lived out, not perfectly, but faithfully, together. As the largest gathering of Episcopalians in Georgia, I invite all of us to reflect on what it means to walk every step together. Every conversation you have with a young person, every act of encouragement or guidance, every moment of listening or support matters. Each action contributes to a stronger, more faithful, and more connected church. When choosing to walk with youth, you're not simply shaping the church of tomorrow, you're strengthening the church of today, allowing Christ's love to be experienced in communities that embrace, uplift, and sustain one another. Let us commit to caring for youth not as a distant responsibility, but as a vital, living part of the body of Christ now. Walk with us, celebrate us, guide us, and show us how to do the same for you. Show us to trust God to lead each step of the journey, knowing that together with faith, love, and hope, no step is taken in vain and no one walks alone. Thank you.